Hello everybody and welcome to our first video of Coquí Game Studios. I am the host and the creator of the channel. So what is Coquí Game Studios? Well, we're actually a small group of people. We have been working with Java and C++ for a while. We have created Android apps and web pages. So basically we have been doing computer programming related stuff for a while. However, we wanted to take it to the next level. We wanted to create a video game because in our country, video games are often portrayed as a waste of time, and for that reason, we do not have many places that we can actually go to learn how to make a game, and too many graphic designers. What the people basically tells them is that they're not going anywhere with that title. If you will know by now, the gaming industry it's actually a millionaire industry, which provides um, a wage and a living for many people, for the designers, for the developers, for the companies. But outside the professional spectrum, you have many people that are actually making money on YouTube. You have people that is making money on Twitch. This is you can actually call this a cult. You have many people engaged in this. This is extremely fascinating. Video games are an experience which is amazing. You get to know a lot of people. So we wanted to, like I mentioned, we wanted to take it to the next level and be part of the community. Most importantly, we wanted to provide our 2 cents and help the people like many other videos and tutorials around. We wanted to help people achieve their goals of actually creating a video game. So, like I mentioned, we're a small group of people. I am basically currently working on my own. One of my friends left to another country. He's basically pursuing a career, and one other of the guys started working on an anime, and he still helps me from time to time. But I'm basically doing this on my own. Uh, but still, I will provide my knowledge, what I know, what I have learned so fast. If you have any suggestions or comments or things that uh, you would like me to cover more in details, feel free to post in the comment sections. Um, so without any further ado, let's talk a little bit about Unreal. Just one quick thing here. My first videos are actually going to be extremely boring. I will be talking about what we hate when we go to the university, which is theory and basic concepts. But those are things that you need to understand if you want and plan to use Unreal Engine at some point. Um, so what is Unreal Engine? I already have it open here. Unreal Engine, it's what the name suggests. It's actually an engine which control everything that happens in your game, everything that you don't get to see, everything that the player do not get to see. It's actually controlled by the engine. So this is what you get to see when you open the browser for the first time, and you have 2 tabs right here. You have the projects tab and you have the new project. This one it's currently empty. I don't have anything, but as you start practicing and creating new things, they're going to be showing up here. And in the new project tab, you have 2 more tabs. You have the blueprint tab and C++ tab. So we're not going to be working with this one for now. This is actually more advanced. I do know how to use C++, and whenever you try to use something from here, it's actually going to open in Visual Studio. But actually, we're going to be using the blueprint system, which I find extremely fascinating. It is amazing. So you have many templates that are already here. Um, they come with pretty basic stuff that you can explore and play around with. So for this video, I will be using the third person, this one. So when you click on this, you get a preview and a description. And for these settings, we're just going to leave this one maximum quality, and we're going to start with starter content. Now, what this means is that we're going to be provided with a few assets that we're going to be able to place in our game and basically play around with. So they are basically things that Unreal is going to give you, so you can, start getting your hands dirty and such. So if you get to a point where you are going to create a video game at a maybe much larger scale, you really want to set this to no starter content, because this is actually going to put too many things into the memory, and if you're not going to be using them, then it's just a waste of resources. And you select the path and the name. So I'm just going to call this first video. Keep in mind that Unreal does not allow blank spaces. So if you try to leave a space, it's gonna provide you with an error. So first video, and we're gonna hit create. This is actually going to take a couple of seconds. Um, One thing that I would like to highlight, English is not my native language, so my pronunciation might be a little bit broken from time to time. I would try my best for to avoid that. But actually, my native language is Spanish, and English is something that I have adopted throughout the years. So if you are overwhelmed at some point my horrendous pronunciation, I apologize in advance. Okay, so let's see, what do we have here? Okay, um, here we have um, yeah. Okay, so there we have it. This is what you get to see whenever you open Unreal and you create something. Since we're using a custom, a pre-made template, it's gonna be basically filled with many things that you need to understand. They're not going to be around when you actually start playing around with Unreal using like a new project. So the first thing that I do whenever I'm using Unreal is I go to this tab and I click on show frames per second. So now I have an idea of what is going on and how are my frames actually behaving whenever I'm building and doing stuff in Unreal Engine. So I'm just gonna click on the play button, and as you can see, we are already able to do something because everything it's basically it's pre-made. um, so I will give you a quick overview of what we have here. This is the world outliner. So in here, basically, we're gonna be able to see everything that is placed on the world. So if I would like, let's say that you're actually looking for the floor and you don't know where the floor is, well, you can just go here, click on the floor, and the floor is gonna be highlighted on the viewport. And it works the other way around. You're looking for the floor in the world outliner, but you don't know what it is. You can just go and click on the viewport, and it's going to be highlighted on the world outliner. You can do many things with the world outliner. You can actually organize your stuff in a more professional manner. Let's say that you have everything, you have all of this, and you don't know what to do with it. You can just go and create a folder, and we can name this extra, maybe extra stuff. And hold on, whoops, hold on, I made a mistake. Okay, so so it okay, there we go. We're just going to name this extra stuff, and we're just going to press Control on our keyboard, and then we're just going to click on the extra stuff, and we're just going to drag it, and we're gonna drop it in our folder. And now our elements are actually going to be organized. And if you're looking for the game character, he's going to be in the extra stuff. There's our character. And so that's basically what you can do with the outliner. You're gonna actually press Control A and just hit delete. It didn't work. Okay, Control A. There we go. Delete. Yes to all. And as you can see, everything has been deleted from the map, and because of that, we don't have anything. So we can just go and press Control C, and everything's gonna be brought back. Um, so yeah, that's basically all the things you can do with the world outliner, and you can do many more things with it. You can change the names. You can basically organize your project in any way you want, which I strongly recommend. So you actually have a clean and professional and understandable interface, and most importantly, that you actually have something that when you present this to someone else, like let's say you're gonna have more people working on your project, they're actually gonna have an idea of what is going on. Um, Other than that, we have the details panel. This is basically one of your best friends. We have many things here that are complicated. I will cover them in other videos as we move on to more advanced stuff. But for now, I will give you a quick and simple explanation. We have the details panel. In here, we're going to be able to control basically everything. So let's say that we don't like this cube. Let's say that we don't like the position, so we can just drag it. That's like extremely simple. You can just drag it around and place it whenever you want. But let's say that you don't know how to do it, and you just go to the details panel, and let's say that we're gonna change this number manually, and you can just change it just like that, minus 500, and you can just assign arbitrary values here. You can just scale this thing, just like that. um, so basically in the details panel, you're going to be able to interact with everything. Let's say that you don't like how this looks. It looks like tasteless, and we're just going to put something on it. So we just go to the material tab, and let's look for something. Let's see the color grade. Let's see how this looks. Okay, there we go. It looks, I don't even know how it looks. I'm just gonna try something else. um, let's see. Let's just go with let's see. Keep in mind that this actually comes with the starter content, so all the things we have here are, it's not the best quality. Again, Unreal is actually providing you with something that you can play around with and get your hands dirty, but that's it. um, let's just go with maybe rock. eh, yeah, I mean, it's basically an example. It works. So as you can see now, we have a different texture. So basically, you can do many things with the details panel. You can assign collisions to everything that we have here, and we're going to be using basically everything as we make more videos. But for now, I'm just covering the really basics. You can turn this into a blueprint and start creating and doing many wonderful things with it. But again, I do not want to overwhelm you. So let's see. Right now, in here we have the content browser, and this is basically your best friend. This is where your stuff is going to be, you could say, like, stored. Like whenever you create something, if you want to create a new folder and or a new map or something, this is where it is going to be. Let's say that you do not like this map and you want to create a new map, or well, that will be, that's not the best example. Let's say that you want a new map because this one it's going to load into the new one. So you just go to the maps folder, and that one is actually pre-made, but you can just create everything you want. But let's say that let's say that this is your project and you have the maps folder, so you just click on it, then right click on an empty space and hit level, and we can just name this maybe first level. Again, we cannot leave empty blank spaces, so we're gonna hit first level. Then we have to double click on it. You double click on it, you save, you gotta save it, and then our map is going to be created. Now, whenever you create a map or a level, this is what you're getting. There's no light, there's no nothing. You need to start adding things into the map. So how are we going to do it? Well, there's another panel called the modes panel, and it has a search bar. So we can do a few things here. We could just go into the landscape tab, which is located in the modes panel, and we could just create a new landscape. This one is actually extremely big, so we can just go with 15 by 15. I think that will be okay. And again, I can't stress this enough. There are many things that we need to cover about this, but I need to keep this simple for the time being, and I will go more in depth as we make more videos. So just completely forget about this. We're just gonna go 15 by 15, and this is the section size, how many squares you're getting. So let's just go with 15 by 15, and we're gonna hit create. So now we have our landscape. Of course we can see anything, so we need to go back into the place tab, and in here what we're going to do is we're going to type sphere, and we're going to choose the sky sphere blueprint. This is a blueprint. A blueprint, you can imagine or visualize a blueprint in many ways. It can be a function, or it just can be like a piece of coding. So you can just see it however you want. In this case, this blueprint basically contains all the information and the necessary information to create an atmosphere and a visual representation of what the sun and the clouds and everything is going to be. So if I double click on it, if I drag it into the viewport, you can see that we have some sort of an atmosphere, but it looks like we're in Namek or some other planet. So what we need to do now is we already have the sphere. You see, it's showing everything that we add into the viewport. It's actually listed in the world outliner, and then we can just add a folder and start organizing our project. So we're just going to go back here, and we need some lightning. This is looking hideous, so we're going to write a light, and we have many options, but for now we just need a directional light. We're gonna place it in our map. Let me change this really quick. So this is my light, right? And okay, so hold on. So let's just, this is, you can put this anywhere you like. It really doesn't matter, but I'm a little bit, I have OCD issues. So, okay, so I'm just going to, there we go. Okay, now we have our light, but as you can see, it's like we're still in some alien planet. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on sky blue sphere, and we're going to the details panel, and in here there's an option that says directional light actor, and there's a tab. So if you click on the tab, it's going to show this light. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to bind this light to the sphere, and when you click on it, so the game basically, now everything's looking like we are actually on Earth. You know, you have the sun and the sky. So let's see, what do we? So um, let see if I move this around. No, it's actually not updating. So if I move, let's see, colors, some position. Let's see, directional light. That let's see. No, no, it's not working. I'm not gonna dwell on this that much, but still. So if I take the directional light and I just start rotating, and then I go back into the sphere blueprint and I click on refresh, our light, as you can see, is actually going to move accordingly. So I'm just gonna go light and let's see. Um, okay, sky, refresh, and there we go. So what I want to show you is if I take I'm just gonna move it a little bit, and there's the sun. If I click refresh, the sun is actually going to move. We're actually supposed to be able to do it live. Right now it's not working. I'm not gonna go through it because I really don't want to waste any time on it. But that is actually how you put an atmosphere into your game. So yeah, this is the modes panel. In here you're gonna find most of the things you need. Like if you want to have maybe some geometry, you just grab the box and you place it into the world map, and boops, there we go. Now we have our box. So that is, you know, pretty much the basics. So we're going to talk a little bit about the tools that we're going to be using. By default, um, our the, our tool is going to be the translate object, which is basically moving up, left, right, you know, like basically moving in vectors. But if we press E on the keyboard, you can see that it's going to change to the rotation tool, and we can actually rotate our cube and move it around and do pretty neat things with it. So this is basically for placement, you know, however you would like to place something in your game. And if we press R in our keyboard, we're going to have a new tool, which is the scaling tool, and we can just basically, you know, make our object like way bigger, you know. And then if we press W, we just go back to the translate tool. And so I'm gonna enable surface snapping. So if you have your object like this and you want to place it into the map, the only thing you need to do is press N on your keyboard, and the object is going to be placed on top of the landscape. In this case, it's just going to be aligned like this because as you can see, we have actually rotated the box, and it's not, you know, it's in a weird position. But if we take a new box and we place it into the world, and let's say that I'm just gonna scale this a little bit, uh, but if we want this box to be like exactly on top of the ground, the only thing we need to do is actually hit N on our keyboard, and it's going to be snapped into the floor. Um, so yeah, that is, you know, the point of this, and this basically changes the coordinate system. Like right now, as you can see, I can just drag left and right like this, but if I actually hit this, I can move the objects. Okay, sorry. Let me go back. Let me rotate this a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now, as you can see, I can rotate. I can move around my box in many different ways. You know, and if I wanted to move it like some sort of a diagonal position, this is how it works. That is the point of this um, option right here. Um, This number is basically the units. Whenever you are moving something in Unreal, you're moving in units. Right now, what this means is that in the grid, you're going to be moving 10 units. Like every time we do this, we're moving 10 units. If I go here and press 500, we're going to move 500 100 units every time we drag our object. It basically works the same for everything else. Like this is in degrees. Like if you want to rotate, so you're gonna be rotating in degrees. In this case, we're rotating at a 10 degree at a time. But we could actually change this to maybe 30. So yeah, we're going to be moving 30 degrees every time we drag our object. Well, in this case, every time we rotate our object. And let's just put it back at 10, and this is the same thing but for scaling. It's basically how much you're going to be scaling up or down. I usually leave it at 0.25, and this is the speed of the camera. um, Other than that, that is all the basic things that you need to know about Unreal. um, I will be talking about more things. As I make more videos, I will be teaching you how to create a project from scratch, how to add character animations, FBX, how to work basically on your own. Um, I would like to provide videos and tutorials as fast as I can, but well, I have real life things that I need to take care of. But I'm extremely passionate about this. As I said, I have been working with this for quite some time. One little thing that I would like to clear out of the way: I am not a professional game developer. Everything that I know, I have learned it by myself, watching videos, tutorials, and playing around with Unreal Engine. I have not been endorsed by Epic Games. I have not been endorsed by any game developing company out there. So bear in mind that it is also up to you to go around looking for more information, and most importantly, you have to question everything I say. Not because I might be wrong, but because you need to actually learn um, to do things on your own, and to find the best strategy out there. That is basically the key thing here. And one more thing, nobody can make you a professional game designer. No one can. That will be like saying I can make you rich. No one can. The, Being a successful game designer will be up to you, up to your imagination, how far you can go. And I will give you a quick and simple example. Take a look at PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. The game was actually developed in Unreal Engine, but it's a really basic game in many of its key features. And it's really basic in graphics, and in many more areas the game still has a lot of issues related to programming, but still the game actually managed to get to the players because it was something intuitive. It was something that it was interactable, something that the players actually wanted. And that's the key here. You need to think about something, about creating something that it's going to be appealing for the players. You need to have an idea which is going to be strong, and people are going to feel passionate about it. So I really hope that this video helps you in any way. Like I said, I will be providing more content. Next time, I hope I can actually start working on something for your delight. And well, I'll be seeing you guys. Thank you for joining and watching my videos.